Hey guys, it's Mysopods and more with me. I hope everything is going well with you and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones that you love. It's been a crazy week, a lot going on, but I'll talk more about that later. But as I say, this moment too shall pass, and if that moment's the best or if it's the worst, it's gonna pass. So make sure you take the time and love and cherish what you have in the moment, because it could be gone, but also in that same moment, rest assured that when you feel like things are, too much or whatever, that moment too will pass. So I want to talk about three things. The third one kind of about what I was already touching on, but that's a little bit longer, and not many of you are here for that, so I'll deal with that at the end. The first thing I want to do is say that if any of you guys are available tomorrow, which is Thursday, which will be, I believe, 8:30 if it's the mountain time, but I'm in the Eastern time, so 7:30 Eastern time. I'm going to be appearing on Wally Kern at Supreme Gecko, and I doubt that any of you who are here for isopod content don't know who he is already, but we're going to be just going over my channel and talking about some things, and I'm going to enjoy that. The other thing is I don't like to say apologize, but I will apologize. This week has been slower in terms of content, live streams, and all of that, but I do have my kiddos, and when I do, that's my main priority. The weather has been nice enough that we've been going out, and we've just been busy, and that's my priority when I do have my kiddos. My kiddos are my priorities when I don't, but if they're not here, that's a little bit different. But my point is, I just want to say that this is kind of the schedule or pace that my life goes through. I constantly say I have my daughters 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So for the 2 weeks that I'm on, so to speak, it's just like this. My time is less and I'm taking care of them, and I try to do what I can, and I appreciate when you guys are understanding of that. And then I go to my 2 weeks off where I have just more flexibility, and I'm able to do a lot of that stuff in between when the kids are coming and doing all of that stuff. So thank you for dealing with that, not only right now, but in the future. And I just realized how bad the light is. Kind of apologize for that, but I don't think many of you are here to gaze at this beautiful visage. And if you are, I don't know why you're here, because I'm not a supermodel. But that aside, I want to talk about mental health and vlogs. So if that's not something you're here, not something you care about, I wholeheartedly understand. And if you are going to be leaving at this point, I hope everything's going well with you. You're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love, and that you have a wonderful day. Now, I want to start doing personal vlogs, and a lot of it will be very personal. Just on some of the stuff I, for example, was talking about at the beginning. It's something I'm not comfortable with, but and that's why I want to push doing it. And the reason it's important for me is, I guess, twofold at the very least. But in that it's for me. I talk about externalizing. I don't know if there's another word for it. Venting is similar, but I say venting is a form of externalizing. And I have a lot going on in my life, and I don't have many, and by many I mean just about none, outlets or people to talk to, social, feedback loops or anything like that. So I think it's very important to, whether it's good, bad, in the middle, if you're unsure of something, even if you're very happy and elated about things, to get things out and process them externally. Inside of your head, I'd say it's just like a hamster wheel. It's just going. You got the same stressors and anxiety, but more importantly, when you're going through their daily lives and just thinking about it inside of your own head, you're not getting different perspectives, different views, alternative views, that people may point things out you're not aware of about yourself or others, the way you're interpreting things, because sometimes you can be wrong, and that's very difficult for us to hear. I don't have that in the basest sense, meaning I don't have anyone who's, generally speaking, willing to listen, let alone say, well, now that I've listened to you, let me offer my feedback that you can interact with, and I can now interact with your thoughts. It's something I wanted to talk about on Wally's channel about something separate, but when you're doing content, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're expressing yourself, when you're reaching out to someone, when you're trying to emotionally interact with someone, trying to help someone, you always put yourself at risk. And a lot of people are understandably scared of that. The example I will use is I could come up to someone and say, "You're just looking beautiful today. What'd you do differently?" And they could have found out that their mother died or they have cancer, and take that the wrong way. Did I say that to rub something in or to create, those negative emotions? No. But anytime you come to someone and say, "How are you?" you risk at that moment them being at the worst moment of their life, or at what they perceive as one of the worst moments of their lives. And that's difficult, and it can be the most basest of situations, and a lot of people, I don't think, are conscious of that. I want to do a vlog about things like this, and my question to you is, should I start another channel and do that separately, or should I do that here and flag them as personal vlogs for you all to interact with it if you see fit? Let me know what you want to do, because one thing I don't want to do is push people away from the channel. I'm not willing to cater to you or anybody else if it's sacrificing my morals and perspectives, but if it's not going against anything and I can accommodate people with that, I try to do that when and how I can. So I'm just asking you, is that something you're interested in being on this channel, somewhere else, not interested in at all? Because again, I'm going to do it. I need to do it. The other part of that is, and what I was kind of talking about Wally's channel, again, not only putting yourself out there, but I say to Wally, to Russ, at anybody who is willing to, again, put themselves out there, but when they make mistakes, when they mess up, it's embarrassing, it can hurt you. Some people are personally impacted traumatically by some mistakes that they've made. Now, I look at life like this. If I have an animal or a personal thing going on, and I could make the right decision or the wrong decision, and you've gone through that before, I would rather have you share your knowledge and experiences with me to help me know what the right and wrong decision may be, as opposed to making the wrong decision and going through everything you did, maybe worse, more or less, when I could have just learned the lesson from you. And husbandry is a way of that. So, taking care of an animal a certain way. If I can learn from you to make sure I don't go X amount of days without doing this, and learn again from your mistake, which is hard for you, it's better for me and better for you, because you get to help me not go X days, do what you did, and learn what you learned by, again, killing or causing harm to whatever thing I'm doing. It's very difficult to share experiences, and for younger people, some of it may not seem important right now. I talk a lot about how you may come to moments in your life that 10, 20, 5 years ago, months ago, prior to a certain event in your life, you don't view a certain way and didn't realize that perspective even existed. But now that you realize it's there, again, your life goes in a different direction. I want to talk about all this. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I want to share them with you because, again, for me to externalize and process them, put them into perspective, and that's on a daily basis and going back. But again, when you can look back and say, "Wow, Steve-O, you probably shouldn't have done that," and then maybe that, something similar comes to you come to that crossroads in your life, and you can say, "Wow, I'm not going to be Steve-O. I remember what he did. I'm going this way." Again, I don't mind that. I love sharing that with you. I always say, if I had access to something like this when I was younger, at any point in my life, and I had Steve-O up there saying, don't, do, and I listened to 1 out of 100 things that Steve-O was telling me, my life would have been better. Let alone if I listened to 2 out of 100 or half, I don't know. I didn't have that growing up. And I learned a lot of things in ways I would rather have not learned them, in ways that I hope maybe you can avoid doing things. And a lot of things I talk a lot, whether, Wally was talking about budgeting for isopods, and it's interesting that is just something that he said in there, if you can't budget life, you can't budget isopod businesses. And that's the point, is some things go hand in hand that, again, you may not realize it. Learning patience and discipline watching isopods or propagating plants can lead to patients navigating relationships and dealing with people, and dealing in relationships with people and propagating plants and learning patience there can learn to be patient in isopods and other things. Again, so lessons can be learned in so many different ways. I'm interested in sharing those lessons with you. If you're not, I don't care, and I'm still going to do it. But again, if it's something that you care to the point where you don't want to hear about that and you will leave this channel for whatever reason, and you can make a valid reason for that, and I will try to accommodate you. So if you don't care, let me know. If you want me to, again, flag them differently, let me know. I think that's important. I hope everything is going well with you. I hope if I see you in that stream, you're having a wonderful day tomorrow. And if I don't, I hope it's because you're having an even better day and just have more important things to do. So thank you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the ones you love. Go easy.